Hi, Paul from Power Wash Store here. We're going to show you the Joseph Knight skid from Louisiana. This is a drop-in skid for the back of his truck. We got 3 electric Titan reels on here. We have an 18-inch garden hose reel on here with 150 feet of garden hose. We have 250 feet of agricultural hose on here, the hose reel guides, and 100 feet of high-pressure hose. We have some nice quick connects on here for storing the hose when you're traveling, so you don't have to worry about it unraveling. Each one of the hose reels has one in. This is with the gun mount, and then one for the garden hose. These are wired into the battery with the pressure washer, so they will be recharged as the pressure washer runs. Right over here we have a water dragon air compressor that will provide the air for his air diaphragm low pressure wash system. Our ladder rack, integrated ladder rack, we have the platform over the pressure washer for storing his ground floor surface cleaner, 11-gallon aluminum gas tank with a snap lock couch cap. This is tethered, so you don't have to worry about your guys losing it when they go fill up at the gas station. So that'll give you some real long run times. Real easy to fill up from the back of the truck to stick the nozzle right in there. We have a 5.5 at 4,000 PSI water dragon pressure washer. We have an exhaust diverter on there. You'll see down here we have a drain for the water tank, and we have a Yamaha air diaphragm pump. You'll also notice he has a spare parts kit that he purchased. We'll take that off of here. He has 2 low profile 55-gallon tanks on here. We have this one set up with water. It has a float coming off the garden hose reel to fill it up. And then we have our bulk bleach storage tank. We are bypassing the pressure washer back into the water tank, so it circulates really well. And that way if he walks away or the guy set the wand down to talk to a customer for a few minutes, he doesn't have to worry about it overheating the water or causing damage. Here we have our feed from our airline. You can hear the pump turn on when I turn it on. Little valve there, he'll be able to reach right over the side. We have our tall kit here, our 7-gallon soap tank. We have our tall kit here to support our proportioner, and our flush valve right on the back here that you can just flip from side to side. Opening up our proportioner here, we have our proportioner system that allows you to blend your chemicals as you are working. So if you need to change your mixes, everything is blended within this system itself, so your bleach stays your bleach, your soap stays your soap, and your water stays your water, so you can have extremely long run times not having to stop at batteries. So I'm going to show you how to prime one of these systems here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to open up our water valve all the way. Okay, we're going to turn our pump on, and you'll be able to see the valve here. You'll see the line. It'll actually start pulling the water through, and you'll see it actually start spraying out here in a second. I'm going to let a little bit of water run. Now we're working off a small compressor in the shop, so you don't have to listen to this one run. Makes it a lot quieter. The water, you can actually, you can't see it, but the air is actually coming out of this hose all. So we got the water primed. We came off, we ran for about 5 seconds with it running in there. I'm going to close that up. I'm going to open my SH valve, and if you want to look at the line here, you'll actually see it. Well, it's already up in there. You can see that filled up. We'll watch this last line here. When I flip this valve over to water, you'll see the water actually come right out of there. You see how it pulled the water out? Okay, so now I know that's primed. I'm going to turn that off. Last one I have to prime is the detergent valve. So I'm going to open that one up. I'm going to squeeze the trigger, and you'll see the line. It's right, this real small one here. It's already filled up just from the pressure of the system there. So now our 3 lines are primed. We're going to show you how to set this up. So what I'm going to do is, if I want a different type of mix, what I'll do is I'll turn my water all the way up. That's going to give me my primary mix for that. I want to wash asphalt shingle roof, and let's say it's really bad. I want to go with a 4.5% mix. So I'm going to turn the SH valve. First I got to make sure this is over on SH, which it is now. I'm going to turn this up to 4.5, which is what these markings stand for here. Here's a 1%, 1.5, 2, 3, 3.5, all the way up to 6%. We need to go above that, beyond that for some reason. What we actually do is we reverse the water, and then you can see these numbers start counting up: 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, all the way up to an 11.5% mix, which is basically pure bleach. So we're going to keep that open up all the way. We're going to open our soap valve to 4%, and we're going to open our detergent valve. Right now it's just water, but we're going to open our detergent valve up to about anywhere from 3 to 5 typically. It might be way a little bit higher if you have a really thin or really light surfactant mix, but something like the Dragon Grip or the Stick Up, you'll typically be down around 3. So what I did, I got these open now. I got to wait for the air compressor to catch up. Now what may happen sometimes is that if the air pump stalls, there's actually a button on the side of this the air diaphragm pump, and I don't think this is stalled, but if it does stall, you actually just push that button in, and what it does is that moves the shuttle so that the shuttle resets itself. Now it wasn't stalled, you heard it turn right back on. Another thing that might happen if it stalls, sometimes you just turn it off and turn it back on. But you can see with the air pump, I don't know if you can see the distance, but we're getting about, I'm going to say about 45 to 50 lineal feet. Just spraying with this. So right now we're running a 4.5% mix. Now if I'm done, I sprayed my rooftop and I'm all done, I want to come down and I want to change my mix. There's 2 things I'm going to do. Let's say I want to wash an awning. So I really want to be down around a 1.5% mix. Well, I don't want to use this really strong stuff on there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my mix down to 1.5. Then I'm going to turn my detergent valve all the way up. I'm going to squeeze the trigger and I'm going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? After that, I'm going to turn it back to my regular 3 mix, and then I'm going to squeeze the trigger. And what's going to happen is I'll spray and spray. Now you're seeing a little residual suds in there, and actually some air. That's from the priming. The suds is from what was in the hose for manufacturing, and the air is just from priming. But now that we got all the air out, after a few seconds, what you'll see is a big blob of soap come out, which is your marker. That'll tell you that you've got the new mix, and from that point you can continue to spray. Now you can see once all the air gets out of the line, we'll actually get a little bit better distance depending on the lens. Now we're operating right now at about 80 psi, and 80 psi on your compressor is going to give you the best stabilization of your stream of water without it atomizing, and still give you about your maximum distance. You can go up to about 100 psi. These pumps are rated for that. But if you do that, what ends up happening is the spray becomes more misty, and you'll have a tendency to have a lot of overspray. So we typically recommend operating at around anywhere from 70 to 90 psi is really the ideal range. So at the end of the day, we're all done spraying. We want to flush our valve out. So all I have to do is come back here, flip it over to water, squeeze the trigger, and continue. I'll shut my soap valve off, and I'll squeeze the trigger, and I'll continue. I'll spray down whatever I was spraying down, and I'll wash, and after a minute or so you'll see the soap disappear, and then you know from that point on you're just spraying water and everything's flushed out. At the end of the day, I recommend just closing your valves up just in case. You don't want anything backflowing. There are check valves in here, but if for some reason a piece of debris gets in here from either getting through the filter, or if you don't have filters on your unit, that can cause a backflow situation. You don't want to have that. So that's how the proportioner system works. Congratulations to Joseph Knight. He has a really nice system here. He's the one that wanted the low profile tanks like that, and I think that turned out really nice. So good job on that, Joseph. Have a great day. Thank you from the Power Wash Store.